YouTube world. Welcome back. It has been quite some time since I last came on here, since I last recorded something for you, and since I last created some content. But I am back. We are back, and I'm very, very excited to actually take some more deep dives with you and to share my wisdom here on this channel with you, to give you the invitation to go deep, to catapult yourself all the way up where you know you belong. And as you might tell, I am back in Mexico. Some years ago, Mexico became home. And I did not plan to make Mexico home, but somehow it magically happened by following myself, by letting myself be guided from deep within. So today I want to talk a little bit about that inner guidance, about giving yourself the allowance to follow these nudges, the small ones, the big ones, the ones in between, the ones that you know you gotta do it, the ones that you know when you start thinking about it, you won't do it because your mind will jump right in. So whenever we are receiving these nudges, it's time to just act, to not think about anything, because this is just where we keep creating what we already know. You gotta trust yourself, those hints, those nudges, and just act upon them. The last few days, I received a few of these hints. I ignored them. And afterwards, it made sense. I'm like, okay, I already got the answer. I did not listen. And this is why this is happening right now. We are receiving the answers all the time. All you got to do is to follow along. No matter how weird, no matter how random, no matter how illogical. This is where you create the magic. This is where the exponential growth is happening. This is where your jumps are happening, your quantum jumps, jumping into a new timeline, jumping into a new reality. Following yourself all along. And there might be moments, as I just shared, where you notice, I already got the answer, but I did not listen. And those moments are very valuable as well, for you then to listen next time, to know, this time, it's time to move. This time, it's time to go all in. And when I'm talking about following your nudges, your soul nudges, I really mean the small ones, but also the big ones. Because the big ones are the ones that often create the big transformation. You giving yourself the allowance to just go, to just jump into that next level. But the small ones, they're also very, very essential for you to calibrate to that new level, to that new experience, to that new identity. So I want you to give yourself the permission to just go for it all. Everything that is flowing through you. Move along with it. And be open, expect the best. Be open for it to unfold magically for you. Turn fear into excitement. Turn anxiety into curiosity. And just jump right in. You're safe, always. You're always held. You have the power within you to hold yourself. So then some years ago, I was living in Denmark. I lived there for 7 years. I studied there. I worked there. And then at one point it was time for me to quit my corporate job. Following that nudge, somewhere in the middle of nowhere, by a waterfall in Bali, I received it, just quit now. I went back, I quit. And then sometime later I noticed that the way I am, I want to expand. Copenhagen is just no longer my place. Because it has been too tight for me to unfold the way I know I'm here to unfold. So again, I decided to move with that nudge, my feeling, Portugal. I don't know, I've never been there. I just felt it. Booked the flight, ready to move, ready to go, ready to check it out. How life feels over there. How I feel over there. How my expansion is happening over there. And then a few days before I was about to leave, I received an email for a retreat here in Mexico, a retreat I wanted to attend for several years. But due to me being caught up in the corporate world, I did not have time for that because I was too busy with other programs I was doing along the way, other trainings. It never worked. And then finally, I had the time. And so I just decided I'm heading there now to Mexico and then Portugal after. I just booked my ticket, my flight ticket to Mexico, to Cancun. And then I just went for the retreat I wanted to attend for several years. And then I got there. And I met a friend after the retreat. I met a friend on the island of Cozumel. Cozumel is a magical place. And it caught me, it pulled me right in. I fell in love with the energy, with how I felt here, the vibe, everything, the ocean. For those of you who have been following along, you know the ocean is my home. So it has been, it was like paradise, just being on that island, access to the Caribbean Ocean, any time of the day. The morning swims, in the evening swims, sunset swims, like wow, just like the connection to the ocean. So I fell in love with that place. My plan was, as I just mentioned, was to go to Portugal, to move there, to start life there. And then what happened? I fell in love with the island. I was traveling around Latin America, around Mexico, in the United States, did some more trainings there. But I was always pulled back like magically. I could not resist to the island. That longing, that desire to travel that I used to have before, gone. I was like, I just wanna ground, I just wanna settle, I just wanna be on the island. And then something magical happened on this island. I fell madly in love with myself. I connected deeper with my feminine essence. With my power. With that infinite creative force. Cozumel is the island of the Mayan goddess Ixchel, and the Mayan goddess Ixchel is the goddess of fertility. So it felt like me being plugged into my most fertile self at all times. First, everything was being stirred up. All my stories, all the limitations stirred up powerfully. But then somehow magically it all got put together, and I was like plugged in to source energy. That openness, my heart cracking more and more open, that softness, that sensuality, At the same time, like that soft feminine energy. At the same time, that dark feminine energy, all the emotions, the anger, the sadness, the frustration, the power, holding it all together, letting it flow through me, being activated wildly, passion, love, pleasure, the desires, everything, like the witch, the bitch, just all of that being activated. And then there's that masculine part, that one that leads all of that holds it all together, that gives the space for the feminine to flow. And that's how it felt for me. That has been the transformation over the last few years, being here, like really plugging in to that power within me, that feminine essence that lives within you. That is your power, that is your magic, that is your creative force, like that fertile self creating. Creativity, the inspiration, the intuition, the magic, what I shared before, being open for it, to receive it at all times. Stopping to be logical and really giving yourself the permission to be very illogical. Go for the big stuff because you are big. And then everything is just shifting, moving along with you. You're receiving what you got to receive in every moment, and you have the power to move with it. Because sometimes you're not getting what you want, you're getting what you need in order to get what you want. Crashing the conditioning. And this is where you gotta build up your power over and over and over again. Because that journey is not about it being easy and glittery and joyful all the time. It's about you getting better at holding yourself, you building up more power, you still finding the ease while you grow, while you expand. And every next level brings along all of it. The challenge, the limitation that you're crashing, of course. You're just leveling up. If there would no limitation, if there would not be any limitation, change would be very easy. We all would be evolving, expanding exponentially, but just a few are doing it. Why? Because they dare to be with the limitation. They don't identify themselves through the limitation. They use it for them because they know it's happening for them. It's just some old conditioning. It's going to be crushed. And that's exactly the journey that I'm inviting you on, and I'm very excited because that's what I've been preparing the last few weeks. That has been part of what I've been preparing for you. My mastermind, the infinite. The infinite is a portal for you to claim your grandness, to hold your depth, and to catapult yourself into heights you know you belong in your business and life. It's a portal for exponential growth, not step-by-step growth, not logical growth, illogical growth. Growth that does not make any sense because it's coming from deep within, because you're following these nudges that I talked about at the beginning. You're following these hints. No matter how crazy, you just follow along. It requires trust within you. You gotta deepen your trust. It requires faith in you and in a bigger power, a higher power, co-creating it, because you know you're never alone. There are unseen forces behind all of that moving along with you, but you got to move. And that's what we're building in that mastermind during our 3 months together. The trust within you, deepening and deepening and deepening. Faith, in you, in that mission, in something greater. The courage to go wild and crazy. Be passionate about what you're doing. Be in love with what you're doing. Be excited about what you're doing. Every little thing of it. And to stop holding back. The infinite is a place to play the infinite game. And that game requires courage. It requires a deeper connection to you. Because you are the source of it all. And that's exactly what we're building up and building up and building up. And building up. To go wilder and crazier and louder and softer. And just all of that whenever, wherever. Because there are no rules. And that is the infinite way. That's what we're doing there. You connecting to the source within you. You trusting yourself so much that you just take those big bold moves. That you just go for it. That you no longer postpone it. That you just go. Even though the fear is there, you're just going anyway. Because you know, the only way to get there is the way through. Through the limitation. Through the bullshit that is showing up. Right through. You need power for that. You need strength to hold yourself. Otherwise, you just return. The moment the first challenge is appearing, that's what most of us are doing. The moment the first little challenge is showing up, just moving back to the old. Because we're too afraid of the unknown. We think we can't handle the unknown. You can handle everything. There's a power within you. There's a wisdom within you. There's a love within you that can do anything. And that's exactly what we're building there, doing those 3 months. And I want us to be together, because when we're coming together, it's just so much more potent than meeting each other on screen. So I decided that I'm inviting you and a very small and intimate group of women to Cozumel, to the island of the goddess Ixchel, goddess of fertility, where we're activating, embodying, grounding your most fertile identity. For you then to experience the most delicious fruits ever in your business and in your life. Because it's never about your business, it's never about your life, it's never about what every area you think it is about. It is always about you. And this is our playground. You, your identity, your power, your strength, your softness, your feminine essence being cracked wide open, open to receive it all. At the same time, that wild part, that passionate part within you, doing it your way no matter what. This is the journey that I'm taking you on in the Mastermind, in the infinite. There are limited spaces available because I'm holding it small, I'm holding it intimate for us to go even deeper, to then catapult ourselves even higher. It's a very, very, very exclusive experience that I'm creating for you. And I've been receiving it all. And it just all makes perfect sense. There will be a photo shooting to embody that new identity. But not just any kind of photo shooting. A photo shooting, again, that catapults you into heights you choose to be. There will be exquisite experiences for you to embody that identity, because that's what we're doing, embodying it. So there will be, we meet 1 month online. We have weekly calls. Then we meet in person here in paradise, activating you, connecting you to source, connecting you to infinite possibilities. And then we integrate all that we stirred up, all the stuff we integrate for the rest of our time together. And that mastermind is opening you up for the infinite in any possible way, within you, in your business, in your life. You're doing it the infinite way, and the infinite way is doing it your way. Very wild, with passion, with pleasure, and with ease. And that's the journey that I'm taking you on. If you feel called to join, you can sign up in my bio. There is the link. If you want to be plugged in at all times, join me on my social media if you're not there yet, on Instagram, the Jaguar Club, or on Facebook. And I'm excited to take you very, very deep and to create miracles and magic with you in whatever way you choose to journey with me.